Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Federico here. Today I will test the newest addition to the STL Amphub suite, which is this head that was modeled after the 5153 head. I'll start with a quick demo of the Amphub head, dialing a high gain, crunch and clean tone with included pedals and IRs, and then I'll move on to the comparison with the Tonality one. This is a high gain tone that I just dialed in within the Amphub suite with no external processing or EQ. Second, this is a crunch tone I created with the blue channel. And lastly, a clean tone with a green channel. Now let's move on to the actual comparison. For this part I want to use external pedals and IRs and just compare the character of the two heads, because as you might know, the IR changes a big portion of the sound. So before the amp sims, in both chains with Amphub and Tonality, I'm using the TSB1 overdrive pedal by Ignite Amps, which is actually free. And after the amp sim, I'm using the Libra Impulse Response Mixer, still by STL Tones and Ignite Amps, and the IR I'm using is this one by Bogren Digital. A few words about the differences between the two amps before we begin listening. First of all, you can see that the control layout is quite different. In fact, the Amphub 5153 was inspired by the 100 watt version of the head. So it has the same exact control layout with gain, low, mid, high, volume, and the presence knob for each of the three channels, green, blue, and red one. There's no resonance because this head doesn't have the resonance knob, and there's no tube choice selector. Instead, the Andy James model was inspired by the 50 watt version, so it has the resonance knob just like the real head, same exact controls, but this one just has the red channel, and it also has the power tube selector. With these settings, as you can hear, there's a huge difference, and the main one is that the 5153 in Amphub sounds way darker, has more subs, and a ton more low end, whereas the Andy James in comparison sounds more dry and has more in-your-face mids. So with these settings, if I had to pick one, it would probably be the Andy James, but if you're looking for a darker guitar tone, maybe the Amphub version is a better starting point. Now I'm gonna tweak some knobs in Amphub to try to match by ear what I hear from the Andy James plugin in order to see if they can get close. So these are the settings that, to my ear, bring the Amphub 5153 closer to the Andy James 5153 head with all knobs at noon. Still not exactly the same, but very, very close. As you can see, I scooped out all the low end that I could, so yeah, I can confirm this one has a ton more low end than the Andy James one. Let's try the opposite. I put back all the knobs here at noon, and let's see if we can get closer by tweaking the knobs in tonality. It's similar, but I think it's still missing a bit of low end, even with the low and resonance knob turned all the way up. I don't really think any more low end is needed, but if we wanted to get close, I think, yeah, Amphub still has some more. But yeah, as I said, I don't really think this much low end is needed in a mix. So now I'll dial in a high gain tone with this IR and these settings, and basically I'll try to do my best with both plugins and see what I can come up with. Now that I tweaked them both to my taste, I'll switch the power tube selector to see how the tubes compare. The EL34 sounds a bit smoother and darker, the KD88 sounds more in your face and brighter, but I mean, they all share the same character, so I'll stick with the 6L6, which is the most neutral one. So that's it for the comparison. Now on to the big question, which one is the best, which one will I get? So that's really hard for me to answer to, because I like them both for different reasons. First of all, I think I can get a bigger range of tones with the Amphub one. First of all, because it has 3 channels, so I can use it for clean and crunch tones as well. And yeah, it has a lot more low end. It's a bit less focused in my opinion on the mids and highs, whereas the Andy James I think sounds a bit better right out of the box, but then I think it's not as tweakable as Amphub. As for the controls, again, we have the 3 power tube controls here and the resonance knobs, but we don't have the 3 channels. So I mean, I guess it depends on what you're looking for. As I said, these are 2 different 5153 models, because we have the 100 watt version in Amphub and the 50 watt version in Tonality. If you're just after a 5153 amp sim that sounds good, maybe the simpler STL Tonality one will work best for you. However, if you want more tweakability and IR choice and amp sim choice, then definitely go with Amphub. Keep in mind that the guys at STL Tones are adding new amps, pedals and cabs monthly, so that's a nice addition if you get Amphub. And that's it for the comparison. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Let me know in the comments which one do you prefer, and I'll see you next time. Take care.